Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 One Club story from Hemel Hempstead Town with me, Daniel. It's part 13 of the Tudor Times today. We are on a brilliant run. Well, we were up until the Altrincham game where we got FM'd on Boxing Day. We've had a 2-month spell where we've got up into the playoff push, and although the top 4 are miles away with it, there is a big mid-table chunk, and at the moment, we're near the top of that pile. However, we've got a tough spell of games coming up, not least with Wrexham, Southend and Stockport, 3 of the top 9 and 2 of the top 4 in the next 3 games. So if you're looking forward to finding out how we get on in the first 2 and you are enjoying the series, please do put a thumbs up on it. I think, though, this is where we're going to start to fall away, because for the first time in the last couple of weeks, we've picked up injuries. And despite my best efforts to protect the squad, which we'll talk about in a moment, it hasn't quite gone to plan. So if you want to stay up to date and see how the rest of the season goes, please do subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. We're on the beta schedule for the rest of this week. Then next week, videos every day at 3:30. There's of course regular streams on Twitch, which you can see in the eye above, including this evening with the Europa League watch along, and FM back tomorrow with an FA Cup special. And of course, thank you for all your incredible support. It's the first video I'm recording since we passed 3,000 subscribers, so thank you for making it happen. It is really appreciated. But let's crack on by having a look at what's been happening at Hemel Hempstead, because you can see we've lost our last game, but until that point, we've managed to get ourselves up to 6th. That might now change. We've got a tough run of fixtures coming up, but we cannot complain about how we did in the spell of fixtures that we probably expected to do well in. So in the league, and anything other than that FA Cup extra time defeat, between the Bromley game, which was the one before we came back in the last episode, and Altrincham on Boxing Day, we went exactly 2 months unbeaten. We played very few of the top sides, and a lot of sides that were either expected to do okay but were then struggling, or some of the sides expected to be near the bottom. But most importantly, we've started scoring. Only the Chesterfield game we drew a blank. If we have a look at the results since you were with me, a 2-0 win at home to Torquay, Harry Brook and Damalio Brown-Sterling with a late goal. You'll notice a theme with our super sub striker there. A 2-1 win at Hartlepool, Victor Sedende got both, a late grandstand finish, but we were brilliant. A 0-0 against Chesterfield. You might notice from the lineup here, we rested everyone, and that's why we didn't have our goal threat, but we took the gamble of resting the 11. We threw that game so we could win the Wealdstone one and do well against Hartlepool. And we actually ended up getting a draw. So you've got to say it was a pleasing outcome. In terms of the Wealdstone match, we followed up with a 2-1 win. We came back on the stroke of half-time with Marsh Brown and Sedende getting late first half goals. We then went to Kings Lynn and battered them. Best performance of the season. Hat-trick for Damalio Brown-Sterling. Goal for Brian Ifiani. And what a turnaround. Again, we had to rotate quite a bit. We had virtually a whole backup team in there, but we played them off the park. It was brilliant to watch. A 2-1 win against Braintree, who of course held us on the opening day, but it wasn't just the fact we won. Look at how. A second half comeback with Victor Sedende's brace. The second, a penalty in the 94th minute. We'll forget the fact there was only supposed to be 3 minutes of added time. What a turnaround, what a result. We backed it up with a draw against Yeovil, Marsh Brown getting an early second half goal. We then had 16 days without a league fixture, and all we had was the FA Trophy against Spennymoor, who ironically we played in the FA Cup as well. But against the National League North side, we played reserves, and the reason for that is a lot of our players were showing fatigue. They were jaded, they were being recommended to be rested. So the likes of Kopekwa, Oshieng, Simpson at right back, Marsh Brown, Dobson, Mantum, there were 7 or 8. We just sent them on holiday for 2 weeks. And we got them fresh for the Altrincham game. Okay, they didn't quite bounce back in that one. They were maybe a little bit rusty, but they hadn't had much training, and I think it will benefit us later in the season. Against Spennymoor, we made a meal of it with the backups, but over the 2 legs, we did get through. Interestingly, replay still in the FA Trophy. Could have done with that in the FA Cup, couldn't we? But Oliver Turner, really starting to improve. Came of age a little bit in those 2 games. Got a goal there, as well as Brown-Sterling from the penalty spot, which saved a draw. We then went back to Spennymoor, and we got the victory. 1-0 via Brown-Sterling. Fantastic effort, given the fact that we were missing so many players. But you can see, something I've said a lot in this save, we have started to pick up injuries now. The run has gone. 18 months barely had a knock, but now they're coming thick and fast. We lost 2-1 at Altrincham on Boxing Day. Sedende got the goal, but it wasn't enough. Altrincham turned it round. And I know we can't really complain because we've done so much FM into teams this year. We've been by far behind on the stats in so many of them. But this one really stunk a little bit. Altrincham scored with their only 2 shots on target. And we just couldn't make our chances count. It was an unfortunate thing. But Wrexham are the side we'll be playing today. They are embroiled in a title race. As a Stockport, who are in 3rd place, a game that's not far away. With, of course, Mr. Ellis Watts, who's going to be out injured for this one. Joshua Sincox just coming back, not quite fit. And Chris Paul, maybe not at his best after the Altrincham one. But I'm still confident that with our best 11, we can get a positive result. So let's go and pick our lineup for the first of today's 2 games. We've of course got January round the corner. We've got yet more players tied down to new contracts. You can actually see, if we have a look at the team here, we get to the right screen eventually, most of the 11 now are tied down for another year. So the likes of Brooks, Senga, Carson, Sedende, Harbottle, Oshieng, of course Kopekwa and Mantum. We've also, if I get up the contract offers, put in an offer to keep David Gregory as well. He rejected the last one, but this one, same wage, hopefully another year. The only one I can't get tied down at the moment who I've tried is Marsh Brown. He's now rejected 2 offers. The rest of them still got to earn their place for next year. But everything looking good off the pitch, bar the last result, things looking pretty brilliant on it. The question is, now we play the top sides, can we keep it up? We'll go and pick the lineup and we'll be back in a minute to run through it and head into the game against the big money non-league giants. Okay, and this is the squad for today's game. Just one change to the starting 11 from the defeat against Altrincham because the performance was good. It's something I've done quite a lot against the bigger sides this year. Where Oliver Turner struggled a bit, Samir Carruthers more adventurous and attacking. I've put Brook and Mantum together. Mantum's done okay in the playmaker role and he's got that defensive mindset. And they've also got the best engine of the 2 compared to everyone else. And I think with Oshieng going away on international duty is something I might adopt in the future because it just gives us a little bit more responsibility in there. However, the rest of the team is David Gregory in goal. Couple of poor performances. That first game against Spennymoor, actually the first individual error that's led to a goal he's made. Simpson and Carson the fullbacks with Kopekwa and Harbottle at centre-half. Ochieng, Brook and Mantum the midfield 3 as we've discussed. And then Marsh Brown, Dobson and Sedende the front 3. Sedende now on 11 goals. Brown Sterling, the sub-striker on 7. Albeit 3 of those came in one game. We're just starting to score and look better in front of goal. The problem is, it's harming us a little bit at the back. We're not expecting much out of this game. It's going to be a really difficult one against Wrexham. But let's head into it. Just the one change for the visitors as well. Jordan Davis in for Billy Chadwick, who they signed in the summer. Was on loan at Linfield from Hull last year. They've still got Ben Tozer and a long throw threat. Paul Mullin still banging in the goals. The likes of Harry Pell are sitting on the bench for them. That's how good they are. John Nolan, a big summer signing. Harry Lennon, a top centre-half. We know this is going to be difficult. You'll also have noticed Rakesh Bingham in their side. He was at Ebbsfleet last year in our league, the National League South, was the top scorer in the division, so they just went and poached him. That's the position Wrexham are in. We were trying to nick a few of a similar ilk, but just haven't got the financial resources, and in some cases, getting outbid by lower division clubs. Into the first half we go then, we're going to try and hold on, but early doors it's Wrexham on the front foot with Bingham. Tries to work down the line, finds Paul Mullin, who's drifted to a wide position here. It's a good delivery to the back post, Jordan Davis heads it, but is comfortably over the bar. I'm guessing for Wrexham, they probably have preferred that the other way round. Well, we say about this being a tough game, we've ended up being back to our defensive best. 38 minutes gone, no real chances at all. That one that we saw right at the start gave them a 0.01 expected goal, so not a great chance. And we're now coming forward with Brook to Marsh Brown on the right wing. Chance to get to the byline, delivers the cross. Dobson's up, back into the path of Mantum. Plays a 1-2, it's back to Carson. He crosses for Dobson. How has that not gone in? The flex wide for a corner kick. It's stunning defending. But surely a chance that should have been taken as Dobson delivers the corner. Tozer heads away. We're having a spell here. Look how many more fans are in. It looks like a big attendance as it's down the line to Marsh Brown. But Wrexham, I know we haven't had a shot on target. It's been a pretty even game though. And Wrexham, as one of the sides chasing a title, will not be happy with this. It's not like the Notts County game we had. Was it the last episode or the one before? I think the last one. Where we got absolutely battered and then just equalised late on. This is a game we're really competing. Sedende catches the outside of the post there. And at half time, I'm really pleased with that. Let's hope we can back it up in a second half because it's been a really promising performance. But even if we can nick a point somehow, be a fabulous outcome. Because we are pro v semi-pro, we've got to worry about the fitness later on. There doesn't look to be much in it at the moment though. When it might harm us is in 2 days' time when we face Southend, because there's no big break between the games. So we've got a free kick in our own half here with Cole Capecqua. Up to Mantum. You can see that midfield too really does make it a lot more solid in these big matches. And they just struggle to get through us, though they've gone long there. Beats everyone and David Gregory will be out. I'm really content with this. Even if we end up losing this game, even if we'd lost that Notts County game 1-0, we're showing that we're going to be able to compete at this level. And if we can get the right signings in next summer, I don't think we'll stay in the playoffs this year. But if we can get the right signings in, I think we could get to the EFL in 3 years. And considering I'd budgeted for 5 at the start, I'd be really pleased with that. I'd certainly like to get in the playoffs next year if we don't this one, because this squad is adapting to the challenge as Harry Brook, oh you absolute beauty, wins the ball back high up the pitch, something we don't have when we play Turner or Carruthers. Brook and Mantum both pressing the ball, both winning it high, and Harry Brook, what a strike that is. Not sure about the keeper getting beat almost down the middle. But we are very good value for that. We've scrapped our backsides off. Now let's go and get some fresh legs on, because the 2 wingers look a little bit tired there. So Marsh Brown will be replaced by Sterling, and then Oganteo will come on for James Dobson. Of course, Ellis Watt's injured, so he can't be in the squad today. And let's leave it another 10 minutes or so, because this could be a really famous result. We're starting to compete with the best in the league. We're starting to build momentum. And we're competing in every match. That's all I asked for at the start of this year. We've got just over 10 to go, and it's a corner with Mantum. Into the back post to Sedende. Heads just over the bar. Mantum's a bit tired as well. Not at his best game. So Samir Carruthers can come on for him. My worry is Capecqua won't be fit for this second match. Neither will Simpson. Neither will Oshieng. This is where it's going to get tough. But we've shown before with our backup side we can compete. And if we get 3 points to start the episode, it will certainly be a very positive finish to the calendar year. Let's go and get the time wasting on, because we've got 3 minutes of stoppage time. And a victory would be priceless. These are the games you don't expect to get points in. And in the last 2 episodes, it looks like we're going to have got 4 points out of 6 out of those matches. So let's get Carruthers onto a deep line playmaker on defend. Let's get on the time wasting. We'll go cautious. We'll time waste all the time. We'll be disciplined. You all know the drill. We're having to do it an awful lot, but that means we're 1 goal up or we're level. And in this division, at our first attempt, we never expected that. The momentum just seems to have come at the same part of the year as last time. And with 3 minutes of stoppage time gone, it is Hemel Hempstead 1, Wrexham 0. The money bags, the big spenders, probably Mullin and Tozer, earning as much in wages as a whole first 11. But we've managed to get a fantastic victory, and that was completely unexpected. We've now got the difficulty of less than 48 hours before we face Southend. And of course, with the EFL transfer window opening, maybe someone will come and chase some of our players. Fingers crossed, they'll leave that till the summer. Fitness test time ahead of the Southend game. I don't think this page is going to be important. I think the one that will be crucial is how many players are going to be fit on the screen, because conditioning is going to be miles off. We've got the usual message, which seems to be every opposition instruction in FM now, which is to close down the opposition goalkeeper. The fact the assistant is recommending 9 changes, and I think of them, only Harbottle is changed position. So that would be 8 people he's suggesting isn't fit. I wonder how many it's going to be. I just want to very quickly see what the attendance was against Wrexham. It was 2,000 because of the extra away fans. Normally it's been about 1.5, but because there's so many more away fans coming in, that's really helped us out. Let's go and crack on with the lineup though. I'm really intrigued to see who we can piece together. And I want to mention as well while we're here, we've opened the January window now, obviously transfer-wise, as 9 players aren't fit, but we're going to have to play a couple of them. And none of them, despite us being semi-pro and overachieving, are wanted by professional National League clubs, by League 2 clubs. There doesn't seem to be any sniff around any of our players, bar Dejon Noel Williams on non-contract terms. I find it fascinating. Surely, Victor Sedende stepping up and scoring 11 goals in 23 games is going to get looked at. Surely Capecqua, who got his 9th Man of the Match award against Wrexham in 23 games. Surely a League 1 club's coming and looking again. It's only 40 grand. But I'm going to go and have a sort of this lineup, because we've got another game in 5 days at home. And it does seem at home we've got a better chance against the big boys. So this game might have to be sacrificed. But I'll be back in a minute with my chosen 11. Well, we have put a few more of them on the bench, but the only three people who keep their place in the lineup from the last game are David Gregory, the goalkeeper, Riley Harbottle, a slightly fatigued centre-half, and Harry Brook in centre midfield, who's holding on to his fitness quite well. Samir Carruthers will have a go in the holding role. We haven't really got other options bar Simcox, but he's just come back from injury himself. I could have put Egan centre-half and Senga in the middle, but Egan struggled in National League games. Only got good ratings in the FA Trophy, really. So that means the 11 in full is Gregory in goal, Paul and Shaw the fullbacks, of course first choice for part of last year, Harbottle and Senga at centre-half, Carruthers, Brook and Oliver Turner at the central midfield three, and then Brian and Oganteo the wingers with Brown Sterling up front. Sedende, Marsh Brown and Mantum there if we desperately need to get back into the game. If we're one down with 20 to go, then we'll bring them all on. But otherwise, I think the away game this week against Southend, who are chasing the playoffs themselves, probably the one we've got to sacrifice. We'll see if we can nick another point though. If we can do what we did against Chesterfield, I'll be absolutely delighted. Well, now I don't feel quite so bad. 8 changes for us, 8 changes for Southend. So we're not the only ones that have had to do that. What I am really interested in as we get into this game is how much our squad can compete, because we put a lot of emphasis in the summer window, not in improving the first 11, but improving the squad, making sure we have decent backups in virtually every position. And that has been a real important factor this season. As other clubs with smaller squads have struggled, we've maybe got a less good first 11, but it had momentum and we backed up the team pretty well. Though early doors, Southend are on the front foot. We have had a couple of games this year, I think namely Eastleigh away, where we've just got battered early on in these types of matches. And Sam Dalby almost does the same here. 9 minutes gone, header off the top of the bar. At Southend, definitely the stronger so far. As Clifford delivers a corner, oh dear. Missed header at the front post from Harbottle. It beat everyone and it was remarkably cleared off the line. It's great defending. But Southend are absolutely dominant here. You feel it's a matter of time. As we've got a free kick just inside our own half with Jack Senga. Lovely ball from Turner out to Oganteo. Has improved Turner recently. And that is a stunning goal. I almost played the two slightly tired wingers because Oganteo, particularly when he's coming on the left, hasn't looked great for his attributes. He delivers one hell of a cross there though. And Ifeanyi, I've got to say, what a performer he's been. Whenever he's come into this team, he's looked a real threat. And he has scored goals as well. He's certainly one that I'd like to keep an eye on and might get more football the second half of the year. As Turner again, who spread that ball wide for the first one, gets on the ball, finds Harry Brook, but this time it's given away. And again, against the odds, in a game where we've not really played that well, we've managed to nick the goal. As Clifford gives it to Guard. Guard gives it to Rush. Rush coming forward but gives it away to Shaw. And now we've got a chance to break again. That is the one good thing with this sub-attack. It is electric in every area. What a ball from Turner again. Ifeanyi to the byline. Back to Brown Sterling. Deflected off the line and cleared away. Southend are having a wobbly here as Harry Brook turns up with another long distance strike. Won us the game against Wrexham and almost put that one to bed. But what a performance. Turner, he plays poorly for some games, and somehow, maybe it's a problem with FM, his rating is 6.6. He produced the key pass out to Oganteo before his assist, and he almost produced one there as well. Bridge crosses to Rush as it is off the crossbar, and Chris Paul heads away. There's still a big threat from the host as it's into the back post. Paul heads away for a second time. Howard's getting the ball out to the right. It's the first half and I'm already heading it with them. Howard crosses. Harbottle clears away. Last ditch defending, it's brilliant work. And we hold on strong. We're coming back into this game. And defensively, we look like we can never be beaten. We're starting to get that air of last season again. And at half-time, despite being behind on the possession, on the stats, and having our box peppered for large parts, we're 1-0 up against the runner play. It's lovely to play free-flowing football, to look like you're going to score and win 3-4, 5-0 every match. But the truth is, we're playing a game every 2 or 3 days, and at the moment, it's about getting victories and points. And we're nearly at that magic mark. We get to 50, we say we're safe, as Harbottle goes back to Senga. He's got the ball in the centre-half position, gives it to Carruthers, into Brook. Got to say, Carruthers done really well in that holding role. How Turner's rating 6.4, I don't know. He's been brilliant so far. Gives it to Oganteo, who concedes possession. Bridge gets it back. Into Hobson. Downfield, Shaw intercepts to Carruthers, and he can now be the pivot because he's better technically than Ossieng. As Brown Sterling to Turner, intercepted with a through ball. Paul finds him again though, to Brian the right winger, to Carruthers, to Oganteo. Got an overlap from Shaw but goes alone to the byline. He does eventually go back to his fullback though, into the back post, knocked down for Brown Sterling, back to Brian again. Every time we put the ball in the box we look a threat. We look so good on the counter with that front 3 or 4. Osenga's missed a crucial header there. Dalby's in 1-on-1. Defensive error. But David Gregory, he does not know when he's beaten. And whenever the line of defence fails, the last line, the goalkeeper, is there to save us. David Gregory, you absolute legend. And with an hour gone, we're still 1-0 up. As Fraser Shaw's got a throw in on the left to Turner. Knocks it to Carruthers. Finds Harbottle. We look good on the ball here. I've just got to decide whether we take the centre-half off now who's tired. Brian cutting in from the right to Brook. Pulls out wide but finds Turner. That's a great ball. And Brian scored again. What a performance from him. Oliver Turner with a brilliant assist. You can't pick out passes like that unless you've got real ability. And Brian, what a player you're becoming out there. Whenever he's come in, he's done a job. And now we've got a 2-goal lead and we really don't deserve it. However, it sends us up to 5th place and 3 points from unofficial safety at this stage of the season. With 20 to go though, we are going to make a change or two. I'm going to bring Simcox on for Brook and I'm going to push Carruthers up into midfield. I'm also going to look at Jamie Egan for Harbottle. Let's do it because look, we don't want these lads to get injured. It's been something we've prided ourselves on is keeping everyone fit. I will give Sedende a run out for Brown Sterling, who's not had his most effective game. But the other 3 in behind them, Turner, Ifeanyi and Oganteo, have been absolutely exquisite. And they've won us the game by being ruthless with very few chances. Well, you've seen these 2 games now, as have I. Tell me, can it happen again? Can we get in the playoffs in the second season? I know the other 3 at the top of the playoffs are absolutely brilliant. They're so much more consistent than us. They've got bigger squads. But we've beaten Wrexham. We've beaten Southend. We've drawn against Notts County. We've drawn against Stockport. There is no one we fear in this division. And to be 4 points clear in the playoffs after 28 games is mind-blowing. What a 2 performances they were. 2 games in which we weren't the better side. We did have chances against us quite consistently as well. But we kept 2 clean sheets. We scored goals on the counter. And we looked like a proper playoff contender. I don't quite know how it's happening. Maybe it is a little too easy because I don't think this should be happening. We'll wait and see how the season finishes before passing true judgment. I think the rest of the season and where we come back will probably depend a little bit on the FA Trophy. But as it stands at the moment, the ones I can pick out are either Woking and Aldershot, who are fighting just below the playoffs, or going on to mid-March, we've then got Carlisle, who are one of those big top 4, Bromley and Notts County in 3 back-to-back games. We'll play it by ear though. We've got transfer windows open. There's plenty of stuff happening off the pitch. There's a youth intake to look forward to as well. We'll talk a little bit about that next time. Needless to say, not spectacular. Expected to be a poor intake again. But if you did enjoy this episode, 2 more unbelievable performances. And the fact that we're now sitting 5th in the league, we've got to start to ask that question. 6th now as somebody else has won their game. But an incredible, hard-working effort from Hemel Hempstead. And if we don't lose any of our players to big sides in this league or in the EFL, I think we've got a real chance at the playoffs. I don't want to get ahead of myself though, so if you did enjoy the episode, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments what you thought based on those 2 performances. It feels to me like without being spectacular, without dominating games, and without really scoring a lot of goals, we're becoming another ruthless side, just as we were at this stage last year. And I can't wait to see if we can hang on to it for the rest of the season. If you want to stay up to date, please do subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. We're on the beta schedule for the rest of the week, so 11:30 for this series and 3:30 for the head coach. It's a big one in that series today as we've got a transfer special for the summer and our European debut in that series and our career. So please do catch up with that in the eye above if you've missed it. There's links to other playlists and special videos there too, as well as the Twitch channel where we're going to be streaming regularly. I'll be live tonight for a Europa League watch along, tomorrow for a big FM session and an FA Cup special. But a massive thank you for watching, your continued support as always, it is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you next time to find out if we can stay in a National League playoff push. I'll see you there.